I'm gonna wait. It's early in the morning. My head looks funny, but I turn my hat backwards so that you can see my face. Oh, hold on. Let me see if this works. Oh, come on. What? Will it work? Oh, reflections. No, that ain't gonna work. No. Shit, what you come around twice for? Maybe I should go like this. Is that better? Oh, they have to go around? Yeah, they do. It don't say stop. Buenos dias, wake up. You already know, Omni Cosmic. Soon to change my name. I'm going to change my name real soon, legally. I think it's an appropriate name for me. Omni Cosmic was something that's temporary. It's not legally, but I am going to change it this time legally. Maybe in February, maybe in March, but it's coming. I'm going to change my name. You're going to love it. I love it. I want to call myself that now, but I was looking it up last night. Cost a couple of bucks. I'm going to legally change my name. Can't wait. So, buenos dias. Wake up. Come on in. Say hello. Hola, buenos dias. Hey, hi, good morning. How you doing? I like to say buenos dias. Good morning has a connotation that I don't like to use, so top of the morning to you. Same thing. Hi, I'll just say hi. Good, that's good. Good to hear. Happy Thankful Thursday. Today is Thankful Thursday, according to me and the Love Your Soul Natural channel. I'm going to get into what we're going to talk about today. Self-confidence and self-appraisal. I don't know how that, you could do that whenever you want. But right now I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. And then when you want to drop something from Jesus, you can. I'll let you know one thing, that everything that is Christ is in you, is within you. It's in the Bible. It tells you in the Bible. It's not anything outside of you. It's not a physical entity. It's not an idol. It's not a man. It's not a person. It's inside of you. It's a spiritual connection that you have with the Most High. So that's a little part of Jesus Christ. Was like not like an example, but he was basically, the pure essence and the pure word of God, right? So that's a good thing. So what I would like to talk about, but we can, what I know is the Bible is completely metaphorical. There's nothing in there that's literal. If you take it as literal, you'll be in religious war with yourself and everybody else. So read the Bible with spirituality. Read the Bible not looking at it as a place and time, but looking at it as a spiritual upbringing or spiritual connection to what is, what was, and what will always be. So yesterday we talked about cognitive dissonance and mental health, right? Very briefly. I'm not a professional on that. I did go through some stuff myself where I had to find ways to help myself. One of those ways was to create boundaries and distance, which allowed me to grow, which allowed me to find, you know, who I am. For me, I am that I am, right? Staying away from those, not really staying away, just stop all type of comms with those who hurt me when I was a child, who hurt me when I was an adult, who try to control me, manipulate me. So that's what we talked about yesterday. How did I do that? Now today, self-confidence and self-appraisal, right? How do you praise yourself? It's not idolatry, because you are the Christ, you are the Father, you are the Son, you're the Holy Trinity all in one. So when you extract yourself from those situations that you didn't know who you were just living a life. Carl Jung has a good explanation for that, and I'll see if I can find it on what type of personality that an empath would portray to others who manipulated them. It's really, really, really interesting. So, self-confidence and self-appraisal. So, I learned this thing about me, that I need to do things in increments, right? I can't have a long-term goal without having intermediate goals to get to that point. Like I have to write it down, I have to look at it, I say, write it down, read it, and take action. That's what I do. So I write it down, I read it more than one time, and I take action, because it's called programming. When you do something more than once, you're being, or someone does it to you, you're being programmed. So you can program yourself and you can reprogram yourself. This is all facts, because I'm doing it. I've done it in many occasions. But micro, I think it's something that was talked on the internet, maybe because, you know, I go on the internet and search for everything. That's like we all do. So it's called micro steps. So micro accomplishments, right? On a daily basis. And I say this on a daily basis because you're programming yourself. And this is how you program yourself. You can have any other method. This is the method that I use. So if you know of any other method, please share. If you know of any other method that helps you out on a daily basis, in reconditioning yourself and making yourself more, prioritizing yourself over others, right? Which everyone should, especially empaths. And it's not easy to do for an empath, really not. Because when you're manipulated into thinking that you need to serve everybody else in order to find your purpose, then that's a problem for you, because there's gonna come a time where you're gonna wake up, and you're not gonna, you know, it's gonna be really difficult for you to listen and hear these people once you have consciousness, or you're aware of what they've been doing to you. It's gonna be basically hell to pay. Not just for you, but for them as well, because there's going to be separations. There's going to be no contact. You're going to do it. You're good. And it's not that, you know, it's not that you intentionally, it's just, you're not going to be there anymore. You're not, that's not where you are at that point, right? Because you're going to start to see it. But you can only do that individually. You got to separate yourself from those who are constantly distracting you, constantly putting things in your mind. You got to separate yourself from that, which is what I've done. And I sit down, meditate, and think to myself every day. So micro accomplishments, daily micro accomplishments is how I do it. So I got a book. I think I've showed you guys this before. Maybe you haven't seen it. It's a daily planner. And so I'll do things. I don't plan ahead, right? I don't plan. If I'm going to do something, or if I think about something, it's usually about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and I got an idea. I write it down and I execute. So I write it down, I read it. So I'll wake up and I'll write it down. I take my planner, usually next to my bed. I'll write it down and I'll put it up. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. If I stay awake, then I'm going to start thinking about all these things. I get all these ideas at that time, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Hello, hi, like, share, subscribe, love your soul, not your role. Wake up, hit that notification bell. So those things help me accomplish micro accomplishments on a daily basis. So even if I don't actually follow through on it, the micro accomplishment for me at that point was the fact that I wrote it down, I read it. Now, I won't think about it throughout the whole entire day, because then now I'm flooding my mind with something that I already wrote down. Reason for me writing it down is to get it out of my mind, have it on paper, and then I come back and I look at it. I'm doing okay. How are you? Thank you for saying hello. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Love your soul, not your role. Wake up, wake up. We work on reconditioning in every sense of the word. From my self-experience, I'm not a teacher. I'm not I'm not none of those certified things. I'm just a man who lived life, went through some stuff, and I want to share those tactics and forms of processing that I utilize that help me every day. So so when I do that and I write it down and I read it, my first accomplishment was the fact that I had the thought in my mind. I wrote it down. I followed my programming, my own programming, by routine. That in itself, I should be able to say to myself, I'm doing good. That was great, sir. Omnicosmic, right? Great. So as I go, the more I praise myself, right? The more I say and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't care who tells you, because if they tell you these things and they're going against your flow, they're going against your frequency, then you don't need them around. You don't need them around. You have enough challenges in life to allow someone in your life to put you down for the things that you know are elevating you, right? So you should have somebody in your life that supports that. And if they don't, see you later. Just as fast as that. And empaths can't really do that most of the time, right? Empaths got to come to a certain point to be like, I'm done, right? So, man, my forehead looks big. So many accomplishments on a daily basis, getting you to the major goal. It doesn't have to be anything tangible. As a matter of fact, I would say that if you're going to a transition in your mind, a reconditioning in your mind, heart, and soul, then just being aware and recognizing these changes in you and the reason for them is an accomplishment. It's not tangible, but it is, even if it's spiritual, it is an accomplishment of evolution in you, right? Which is most important for me. The most evolution, the best many accomplishments is the daily basis where you get to say, and what does that look like for me, right? For me, it's discipline. For me, it's denying myself the things that I used to indulge in. Like, listen, man, I love sneakers, right? I love sneakers. I had tons of sneakers and I gave them all away. I gave at least, it was probably like $2,000 worth of sneakers. I gave them to this woman that I met when I was homeless. And I didn't have anywhere to put it, I was like, I don't have anywhere to put this stuff. I don't really need it. So, I was renting a hotel room in Kissimmee. And she was outside early in the morning. I think she was going to work. And I had to leave that day, so I had to take my stuff out. So all my stuff was downstairs, and she was there looking at it. We started talking or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I don't have anywhere to put this stuff. I had my motorcycle and my car. So I had all these things that I didn't have anywhere to put them. Storage how was I going to take I had to pay. I was trying to save money so I could get a place. So I had a whole industrial trash bag full of sneakers. And we got to talking. She said she had boys. She had 3 boys. And I said, really? You had 3 boys? She says, yeah. I said, listen, you see that bag right there? It's full of sneakers. You could take it. I'm a size 10. And she was like, really? So she started rummaging through it. I said, yeah, you can have all the brand. I say like half of those sneakers were brand new. So I stopped doing that. I stopped buying sneakers until a couple of months ago. I started buying sneakers again. But I do it on a moderate level. I'll go maybe like, once a month. I'll buy me a pair of sneakers. I bought me a new pair of sneakers yesterday. I bought me a new pair of sneakers the day before that. But that self-indulgence requires my awareness to say, okay, right? You're buying these, why? Because you like having new sneakers? Because, okay, fine. Now, discipline comes in where that micro accomplishment, which says I deny myself because, I don't need it. And, it's just an external pacifier for what I'm feeling inside. So what am I feeling inside, right? What's going on? So that's a daily accomplishment. A daily accomplishment can mean you denying yourself of a cup of coffee, right? And the fact that you can do that, being aware that you're doing it and why, what's the purpose, right? It creates discipline, self-discipline. And self-discipline is self-love. I saw a meme. Was it a meme? I think it's called a meme. I put it on my Facebook. It says, easy decisions, hard life, right? It says hard decision. Thank you. Hard decisions, easy life. And listen, I can attest to that. If I make a decision to change the way I think about performing some kind of action or doing something that caused me immediate satisfaction, but later on it caused me to suffer, guess what I do? That's a mini accomplishment. And I praise myself for it. You have to. Because if you don't praise yourself for your mini accomplishments, you don't need anybody else to do that. The only one that you need to understand and satisfy, is, the Almighty Creator. And He already knows what you're going to do. It's written. Now, when you become aware of that, it's such a good feeling that good feeling of you making a tough decision but having an easy life becomes more routine and becomes more programmed. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about reprogramming how you were programmed, because the program that you were given wasn't really for you. It was really to satisfy others, like going to school, going to church. All that stuff is not really about you. It's about the institution. It's about the community. Community is you. Wherever you walk, wherever you go, you are a community. That's a fact. Wake up, wake up. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You burn me. And another, small mini things of how I think and how I picture where those thoughts came from. And that's not easy to do, but it is easy to do once you begin to meditate, once you sit in silence and you just listen. You see that in my ear? Do you guys see that? You see that? Can you see that? You know what this is? It's tourmaline. Look it up. So I don't know if you guys know, but I used to get a lot of ear buzzing. Certain sides of the ear mean certain things. But I was basically being controlled by, I don't know if everybody knows, by parasites. Everybody's controlled parasites. Parasites are demons. Parasites, look it up. I put some videos on there. If you have parasites, sugar, meat, fish, all these things, even plants. But plants are more natural, right, to consume than, cooking meat, which doesn't have anything because it's dead. That's why hunters eat animals alive. But anyway, so those many accomplishments on a daily basis allows me to accomplish a futuristic goal, right? So honestly, that futuristic goal for me is immediate. It's right now. It's how do I want to feel? How do I want to be? How do I want to think? How do I want to look at things? How do I want to hear? What do I want? Where do I want to be around? Who do I want to be around? And normally it's nobody. I don't like being around. Listen, I don't like being around anybody because the conversations aren't where I'm at. And then if I go to the people who are where I'm at, then they either think that they know more than me, or, they try to impress upon me their way of thinking, and I don't appreciate that. I've never appreciated it. And only now not now, but have I been able to pull away from it and really, really conduct myself in the manner in which I choose to do so. Daily mini accomplishments. If you have a daily planner, a journal, I like a daily planner because, again, the accomplishment does not have to be external, does not have to be tangible. It can be, but the most, for me, in my life, the most many accomplishments on a daily basis is self-discipline. Thank you. Hello. Is self-discipline, denial of those immediate satisfactions, right? Boundaries, wherever I go, like I can go someplace, like to the Dunkin' Donuts that I go to, right? And have brief conversations, but those conversations aren't pleasing to them, it's pleasing to me. I always say to people, when you are in a conversation, or you're in you got two entities entangled, intertwined, you are no longer an individual entity. You are part of that entity now, right? It's totally different. But the awareness that I have on a daily basis is my mini accomplishments. I used to have, when you have anxiety, right? I don't know if you guys, I didn't even know I had anxiety. I had no idea what it was. I thought it was a physical ailment. When I would preconceive a situation's outcome without actually engaging in that situation, that's anxiety, right? You're thinking about, man, if I talk to this person, if I say this, if I say that, I no longer do that. I say what I say. I was like that before, but it was always with the impression of a negative outcome, which most of the time it is. When you tell the truth, or when you tell your truth, or when you guide yourself with your boundaries, then others will not like you. They won't, they'll call you names, which is good because now you know where they stand, right? I lived a fake life all my life for everybody else. Literally, I lived a fake life. And when I found out, I was like, hold on, this is not me, but I was a chameleon in everybody else's life to satisfy them. And I'm not ashamed to say that. It's facts. But the moment I woke up, I was like, nah. And I've done that many times in my life. I've come to a point where I'm done with certain people, certain situations. I've done that many a times. Disappeared, away from that person forever. Some people have come back. Some people have not. But I'm not giving myself to their perception of me, right? To let them. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna say what I say. Of course, I'm gonna. I better say so, right? And of course, I'm a polite person. I don't like to say things, so it takes a while for communication. You can't just say something, right? And then it's gonna be okay. You got to think about it first, right? You have to. I think about everything that I do, everything that's in my mind. I never used to be like that. I was impulsive. I was, I had. Is that bad? I'm starting to learn the people in my community, which is pretty cool. The more I come out here, the more I see people's faces, the more I recognize them. That's pretty neat. So, I would just do things like on the weekend. I go out impulsively, hang out, come home, go to work. Like I wasn't an NPC. I was unconscious most of the times of my doings because it was for others, right? Here's how far I've gone. I've gotten from serving and satisfying others' needs. I'm no longer broke. I used to be broke all the time. I got money. I got cash money. I got bank money. I got money. Now, this is the only reason why. I'm not saying I have tons of money. I can sustain myself. I have emergency money. Let's put it that way. I never had emergency money because I was always giving other people my money. Always. I had no problem with giving somebody money. My last. But guess when I started waking up on that tip was when I needed money. I didn't ask many people for money. And when I did, I always paid them back, when I could, right? But I always tried not to be a burden on other people, because maybe subconsciously I felt how burdensome it was to me, but I did it anyway because of my personality, right? Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Love your soul, not your role. We'll recondition everything about our mind, body, soul, spirit, everything. Okay? Love your soul, not your role. I'm coming out with some stuff real soon. I have an emblem. I just need to get her done, which I will soon. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna put it on the hat. I think you're gonna like it. And as a matter of fact, if you go to my Facebook, you'll see the emblem. It's pretty neat. I made it on my own. So micro accomplishments, daily, whatever it might be. More importantly, for me, is that it's a sustainable mini accomplishment. Where what I mean by that is, so is it something that I can utilize on a daily basis that's gonna keep me in that accomplishment mode, right? Things happen. Listen, the plan may not always be the perfect plan, but at least you got one, right? At least you got those little micro accomplishments on a daily basis. That's good. Now, how important is it for you to accomplish it? How relevant is it in your life to accomplish that mini goal? Right? Don't dwell on anything. Thank you for this is why I say don't dwell. This is why I say write it, read it, do it. Let's put it that way. Write it, read it, and do it. Now, you can write it and read it when you get to because if a thought comes to your mind and it feels like an important mini goal, that either you should look at it or you should, consult yourself about it and see whether it's sustainable. And then you do that every day. Some days I don't do it. Some days I'll just wake up and play video games, because I love video games, right? Right now I'm playing Diablo 4, which is, it's a good game. It's all right. I'm just lost. I don't know where to go on the map, but I'll figure it out. And some days I'll wake up and I'll read a book, right? Some days I'll just stay in bed. But I always go back to those mini accomplishments, because the time I spend by myself going through my process, listening, being a listener, loving my soul and not my role, then I can sustain those mini goals. Wake up. You already know, love your soul, not your role. Come on in, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I was on a hiatus for like a week. I was sick, but I'm okay. I'm better, right? So I didn't want to come on here and have like that sick look on my face, because it's not, it's not something that I want to portray, right? Even though, again, I just took a week off. We do read the Bible here. I do read the Bible, right? We're on. I think we're on Joshua or Judges. I think we're on Judges. So if you're interested, this Saturday, they call it the Sabbath in the religion section, in the religious world. I'm gonna be on. I'll post the time. It'll be about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we might read the whole entire chapter of Judges. The whole book of Judges, should I say? And we've done a lot of Bible reading. We went through the Old Testament. We just finished going through the Old Testament. And wow, right? Like, wow, the revelations and all, not revelations the book, but the revelations in spirituality and mental, very revealing information, very contradictory, very scary stuff going on there in the Old Testament. But we read it. And the whole point of doing that is just to understand either spirituality, awareness of, hold on, give me a second. Let me do awareness of inner growth, maybe, inner confusion about society, about your place in society, your own understanding of how things work. Everything's there in the Bible. They tell you, They tell you a lot of chemicals. They talk about plants, trees. You just got to read it. So that's what we do. I'm not saying we're almost finished, but we're almost finished. Once I'm done with that, I'm running with another book that we're going to read, but I got to figure out, because I'm using a Bible app. It's called YouVersion. So I need to go on there and see what I would like to do. I mean, the cosmos is talk about symbology and how the subconscious works that way. But let me turn this down. This is making me cough. So, mini goals, self-appraisal. So let's get into that. So you accomplish a mini goal, right? You get a little bit of caliente. Right? You accomplish a mini goal. And then you praise yourself for it. How do you do that? Because a lot of people, you know, that are like me, empaths, right? Empath. I can't even talk. I used to be extremely emotional about all outside interactions. I'm no longer that. I am more aware of what I'm thinking about when I'm interacting with that outside, you know, circumstance. So we went from daily mini goals. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It doesn't have to do anything with money, anything with others. It doesn't have to do, you know, for me, it's a mini internal goal. I want to be solid, foundationally, spiritually, mentally, in my soul. I want to love my soul, not my role, wherever I go. And those include carrying myself in a certain way. Those include observing my thoughts, why I'm having those thoughts, where did it come from, was it sitting there for a while, and how did I respond to it, and why did I respond that way? Those kind of things, those are daily mini accomplishments. The more that you reprogram yourself or program yourself, the less you're going to have to think about it. And the less that you have to think about it, the more in one you become with the Creator. I'm going to say it again. The more that you program, the more that you process, the more that you initiate into those evolutionary moments in your life that bring you from one understanding or misunderstanding, whatever, in who you are and what you're doing. Once you get there, it's no longer going to be a thought process. The less you think, the more you're in divine connection. The more you are connected to the Almighty, to the Creator. Not God, not Jesus Christ. I said to the Almighty, which I'm going to give you a quick one. People, and this is off the subject, but because I'm going to get back to it. People always want to be intellectual and logical about spirituality. It's impossible, right? People want to tell you what the name of their God is, right? But they don't really know the real name of God. I'm gonna let you, and not God as a demigod. I'm talking about the Creator of all, the one song. His name is the breath that you inhale in and out. That's his name. And they say it's Yahweh, but nobody does that. The breath of life given to you from the Creator is his name. Anyway, so don't be confused. People try to give you names of demigods. They try to give you names of parasitical demons. That's what they're doing. So that you can be an idolater, so that you can think, so that you don't think about what they're teaching you. What you do is you allow them to indoctrinate you without you even knowing it. Now, the more time you spend by yourself, the more time you read on your own, the more time you research on your own, the better off you will be, and the less you will be able to possibly be manipulated by those individuals who just want your money. That's all they want. They don't care about you. So, self-appraisal, how do you do that? How do I self-appraise? Isn't that kind of Narcissistic? No, it's not. It's not. Narcissism is not self-appraisal. Narcissism is something to look up. Narcissism, man. Woo. Those are the people, most of the people that had me trapped were narcissists, starting from my mom and my father. I think he was a narcissist as well. And most of the people I was involved with were narcissists. Ain't that something? And I'm an empath because they see it. They look for you. They want you. They need you. Parasites. So, and they exist. Parasites exist internally and externally. And they use a different word. They use demons. And then they give them particular names. But they're all parasites, literally. So anyway, so here's what I like to how I self-appraise myself, other than buying myself sneakers, right? Like spiritually, I go, I block that thought. I got it. Listen now. And that in itself gives me more confidence. That in itself shows me that I can accomplish those mini goals that I set for me on a daily basis. And I don't need external approval. All I need is a creator's love and a creator's light, if you want to call it light, right? And the connection to say, wow, I really did that. Wow, I really did it again. Wow. So after a moment, like I said, once you're connected, you're not going to have to think about these things. They're just going to happen. Programming automatically, which is what you want to do. Which is what I want to do. At the beginning, it's confusing. There's a lot of stuff that you need to do, right? One of the main things that can help you reprogram yourself, other than distancing yourself from those who succubuses and they're sucking your energy, listen to this. This is gonna sound like weird, but it's to change your diet. Because the demons in you are the parasites that I've been talking about. Go to my Facebook, you'll see. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that until I started reading the Bible. And then I started doing some research. And all of my ailments are because I had parasites. I still do. I'm cleansing my body. So how you eat will give you a different mood. When you eat will give you a different mood. What you eat. So daily goals, daily appraisals is, wow, I didn't eat. No, for me, this is just for me. I wanted to have a cheeseburger today. I wanted to have a steak and cheese. Man, I wanted to. But I know what comes with that. I wanted to have a beer. Self-discipline, self-love, love your soul, not your role. Reconditioning and programming myself on a daily basis helps me accomplish those mini goals. And then I say to myself, because I'm aware of my thoughts. I'm aware of thoughts that come that are not mine. And I block them off. Watch it. Another way is what you watch, what you listen to. Thank you. All of those things need to be changed. You don't have to do it. You can do it micro goals. Right? So music, I used to love hip hop. I love salsa. I don't know if you guys ever heard salsa. I love it. So there are words in there, and words, as you guys know, I don't know if you know or not, are spells. When you say something, you manifest that thought of you saying that, and it comes to life. That's how it is. So if you're repeating songs all the time, you're just creating spells on yourself. And who's the spellbinder? The muse, the musician, which is another parasite. So all of the aspects of your being here have to be completely 180. And again, you don't have to begin with all of them at once because it's overwhelming. Take a mini goal. Obesity is a disease, and it creates more diseases, creates cancer. I know, I'm not telling you this. I saw a video of myself, like, I don't even know if it was a couple years ago. I was thickums. I was almost 300 pounds. I had cancer, I had diabetes, I couldn't breathe. I had all kind of body pains. You know what I did? I took control of my diet. I got somebody to help me. And one love to that's my little brother. I love him, man. He's a great person. He's going through a lot right now. So if you can, please keep him in your thoughts. He's going through a lot right now. And sometimes, you got to go through that. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through life to live life. You got to experience life. So changing, what you watch on TV, because all those things are used to cast spells on you. And I'm not interested if you believe that or not, but just look at your actions. Just look at the way you perceive the world, how you respond to, how you react, your emotions, how high they are, your fear, your anxiety, all this stuff was imposed upon you because you don't have the knowledge or the wits or the whereabouts, because nobody taught you that. Nobody said, hey, this is how you control your mind. No, this is how we control your mind. Hey, this is how you control your diet. No, here's how we control your diet. Killing you softly and making money out of it in every sense of the word. In every aspect, emotionally, physically, mentally, chemically. So visually, you're being controlled, you're being manipulated, you're being you're kind of like a battery for those that need batteries, but you're your own battery. So once you understand the energy and the electricity running through you, the life that's yours momentarily, is that you can do all of these mini goals and you can praise yourself. I go to the store. These are like physical things, but more like in more intense situations, like when I'm meditating, which I haven't been able to do recently. But when I do sit down, if you sit down and you know how to breathe, and you know just how to imagine your breath go, and I know a lot of us don't have imaginations. I know that for a fact because it's been taken from you. Is that when you breathe and you see your breath going down to your lungs, you see it coming back out, you imagine. And then you sit there, just do that. Close your eyes, get it in a nice position, whatever that might be, right? And just do it. You don't gotta breathe heavy. You don't gotta breathe. Just breathe regular. You might end up falling asleep, but I'll tell you one thing: that'll be the best sleep that you ever had in your life. Wake up. So when I do that, I go, wow, like it's wow to me. Like it's amazing. It is amazing. Meditation is the ultimate. So, I talk to myself like, yo, I did it. Wow, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Good man. What did I do? Wow, I worked it. Boom. So my programming is working because I'm aware of how it's working, when it works, why it works. Those mini goals for me are great. So those are internal mini goals and self-appraisal, right? It's nothing to do with what other folks may want you to believe, that your ego, or that it has nothing to do with anybody else or their opinions. It just has to do with your alignment with the Almighty, with the universe, with the one song. That's what universe means. One song. And that is going to be there's going to be so much pressure. You're going to be like a pressure cooker. Right now, you're a pressure cooker. Everybody that is not aligned with the universe is a pressure cooker. And you're about to go off. Either you're about to go off spiritually, mentally, however. It's just going to blow up. It could be a bad thing, and usually it is, because if you're not aligned and you're under pressure all the time, the moment you release that pressure, you cannot be aligned if you're in pressure. Cannot. It's not going to work, because you're pressure from outside things. Now, if you place pressure on your own self, that's a different story. That's a mini goal, right? But it should be looked at with a force of energy that was created by you, not by others, of an energy that is aligned with your divine self, with your purposeful self. Once that happens, it's a wrap. And when it happens, you will be aware, because you're working on being mini goal. Be aware. Be aware of what? Okay, now you got details. Now you got something to do. Okay, I'm going to be aware of how I feel early in the morning and why I feel this way. Who, what, where, when, why. And sometimes how. I guess, right? Who, what, when, yeah. So that in itself is a mini goal accomplishment. And then if you do it every day, it becomes routine. And discipline is routine. Discipline is self-love. And when you do it, what are you doing? You are reconditioning your condition. What? Wake up, wake up. And it's a good thing. It is a good thing. It is so awesome to see, your mini goals and your mini accomplishments, that, how you come out of things. And, remember the hard times, but don't place any emphasis on the negativity of those hard times. Look at it as a propulsion, or, right? Is that using it right? A push to where you are now currently. Because you love your soul, not your role. Wake up, wake up. Love your soul, not your role, right? Love your soul, not your role. Because when you love your soul, guess what comes then? Natural selection. Your soul is going to be so in tune that everything that you accomplish, all those mini goals, you're no longer going to need to be aware of it, because it's your current actual life. Not the life that you see on TV, not the life that you're trying to live for somebody else, not the life that was given to you by your parents, not the life that you want to do because you see somebody on TikTok and they got all these Lamborghinis and all this stuff. That's pretend. That's entertainment, which is another spell. Entertainment is a spell. Yeah, it's love your soul, but know your soul. I like that. Love your soul, not your role. That's the name of this channel. And when you look at it, gratitude, fact, and thank you for your chat. I appreciate you. Growing through it. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you. So, love your soul, not your role. My name is Cosmic. I told people where I got that name from. I'm about to change my name again. Many goals and many accomplishments to put me in alignment with my soul. And who is my soul? My soul is the Almighty Creator. That's why we are all one with the one song. Ain't no difference. We may have different features, which is good, but all the features, all the internals are exactly the same. It's in your DNA, your RNA, your DEA. God particles that can change in the whim of observation, because they just proved it in science, right? So what do humans do the same thing? Empaths do the same thing. You change according to the observation of someone else who's observing you. Am I right? I did it. Maybe I'm the only one. But if you are aligned, listen to this. Wake up, wake up. If you're aligned with your soul, that's never going to change. Your soul's not going to change. Your appearance might change, right? Your the way you want others to see you. But once you're aligned, it doesn't matter how others see you. They're gonna see what people like to call the light. But that's a whole different story. So mini goals and self-appraisal. That's today's conversation, right? I gotta look at my time because I do need to work. All right, it's early. What time is it? Can somebody tell me the time? YouTube, you gotta put the time on the live stream so I can tell the time. It looks like it's 7 o'clock. Is that right? Can somebody tell me? If there's anybody out there? Looks like there's two folks. What time is it? Oh, my phone is it 7 o'clock? I'm in the United States, so I'm on the East Coast. So if you're on the East Coast, let me know what time. I think it's 7 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you. Come through. All right. That's what's up. Love your soul, not your role. Okay, so here's another accomplishment for me, right? Is that when you understand and you're in alignment and you use certain words to depict yourself, or even repeat songs, you're casting spells. That's what you're doing. So, and instead of I've never looked at myself as a negative person, although I was extremely negative. Believe me, when I was a Ute, that's how Italians say Ute. Forget about it. But as I grew, so I played basketball. I don't know if you guys know that. I didn't play basketball professionally, but I was a good basketball player. And I love basketball. I don't like watching it. Hardly ever did when I was a kid. Hardly ever do now. I like playing it. Can't really play it as much anymore. I'm trying to recondition my body for other sports. And so I think I was saying many goals and self appraisal. Again, it's not what everybody else wants you to think that it is. That's your ego. Excuse my French. Some people might say you're an asshole. Again, excuse my French if that's a French word. Okay. You are not put here to live the life that others want you to live. That's not what you're here for. I can tell you that. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, burned it in the bonfire. I am an older gentleman, right? Been around. And these things and this information is coming from my self-awareness, my self-study, my curiosity, right? Yeah, it's not easy. But it can be. Because empathy, man, you carry everybody's hurt. Don't you? You carry everybody's happiness. But it's not yours. You have so much available energy that's what you become. You become, you're born an empath. And you're just that. Now, how can I be empathetic without being pathetic? Let's just say it like that, right? It sounds crude, but that's what happens. Like I just told you, my brother's going through a rough time, right? I can bail him out. He's not in jail, but he's going through a rough life right now. And that's good. You know why it's good? Because when that builds character, and he already has that. Not that he doesn't have it. But it's building more character. It's building more discipline. It's building more self-reliance, right? And to take that away from him would be to put him back to where he wasn't really, he was just floating, right? And that's not a good thing. Plans change. Plans are affected by other things. Plans are plans, but at least you have one. Mini goals, daily accomplishments, and daily self-appraisal. Those appraisals can come in any way. You can write it down, read it, and appreciate it, right? Loving your soul, not your role, is not an easy thing if you cannot self-evaluate. If you cannot self-evaluate, then loving your soul, not your role is just a moniker. It's just something that I made up that you just like because it makes you sound like it's something that maybe could help you. But if you're not really taking action, like I said earlier, those mini goals will turn into loving your soul, not your role. I guarantee you that, because that's what I'm doing. And I've fallen. I'm not saying I haven't. You know, I've been a fallen angel. Came back, went through the rough bushes, right? 40 years in the wilderness. Came out of there up here. I used to be down low, right down in the bushes, down in the mud. You know, just existing, most likely, without loving my soul, not my role. I've been to churches, I've been to synagogues, I've been to mosques, I've been to all kind of religions. I don't do religion. I do read the Bible, and I will be reading other types of books that help with spirituality, right? Religion is not the way to go, right? If you're going to church, you're being regulated. That's what religion means. You're being regulated. You're not going to be happy. You're going to be sad. You're going to be paying money that you don't have. You know, you're going to feel unaccomplished. You're going to feel like you're a devil. That's because that's what they make people feel like when they go to church, right? And oh God, you devil. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, but listen to the title, Oh God, You Devil. Listen to that. And we have a different perspective from reading the Bible. It has nothing to do with speculation or other information. We read in the Bible directly, and we're doing it spiritually first. And we cross-reference. So like I said, I have my streaming studio. I was trying to get it together last night. I'm gonna try again. Maybe I'll try again tonight. I did get it to where I can share my screen, and you know, have like my little head on a corner, right? Which is what I want to do, so I can show you, you know, through the power of the new microfiche, which is the internet, the web, the www, and to show you and read with you together. Not just bringing things out of thin air. Again, like I said, I'm not certified doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, nutritionist. Whatever topics I've been talking about are things that I've gone through in my life. So this is purely entertainment. This is purely me sharing my personal mini goals and mini accomplishments and mini daily appraisals. And a smile is good enough, you know, and a thought. And even if you want to write it down, I feel good about, you could start like that. I feel good about myself because I did this today. You could do that. You could do that at the end of the day. If you learn in that manner, if you communicate in that manner. If not, if you have a different way of doing it, then do that. Right? Then, you know, but do that consistently for about, I say, if you're able to do that for a month, like if you're able to sit, you know, to let's do it 2026, to stand on business, even though everything else is chaotic. But if you're able to stand on business in the midst of that chaos, that's an accomplishment in itself. That's a daily goal. That's a daily self-appraisal, right? So 30 days, it's going to be routine. But you have to push the programming at the beginning. You have to push yourself. Because it's easy. It's easy to let it go. It's easy to be in the same conditioning. It's easy because you're comfortable in that space. Right? Be uncomfortable. Uncomfortability creates evolution. You evolve in an uncomfortable situation. But if you don't have the wherewithal, the knowledge, the reading, the experience, then it's going to be a lot more difficult. But it's still a learning process. You just learned, I gotta go. But you just learned, and learning is a mini goal, is a mini accomplishment, and it's also a mini appraisal. So I gotta go. Love your soul, not your role. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the likes. I think that's the most likes I've had for a while. I'm not promising anything, but I don't think Saturday, maybe Saturday at 8 o'clock, we're gonna read Judges, whatever, however it's spelled, in the NIV version. And I know the NIV version is full of nonsense and whatever, but that's what we're getting to. Love your soul, not your role. You already know. Wake up, wake up. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See you on the next one.